Hi, welcome to Networking Bytes. I'm Dan Jones, I'm a wireless engineer here at Natilik, and I'm providing you with insights into wireless networking. So how do we prepare our networks for the different types of application upgrades that we're seeing? Well, one of the main things that we've seen recently has been this move towards hybrid working. So we've seen a lot of massive increase in real-time applications and how they're being used in the business space. Things like Zoom calls, WebEx calls, Teams calls, where we're seeing not only that they're being used more, but that those applications have actually upgraded from say 720 to 1080 or even 4K in some instances. So the bandwidth requirements are much, much greater than they were previously. Another thing that we need to start thinking about in terms of applications being upgraded are things like the automation that we can get from these applications. And again, how that requires low latency and virtually no jitter. How do we make sure that these things are triggering when they need to if we're relying on a wireless network? Well, we have to make sure that we get that wireless network right first time. The next thing that we need to think about is things like the SLAs, the monitoring, how we're making sure that we're hitting those performance metrics that we need to hit on the wireless network. How can we do that? How do we think about how we're seeing things? Well, we can use things like agents on the client devices so that they're telling us how they're seeing the network. We can also put in things like sensors around the network so that it's continually testing the network, both on the wire and over wireless, so that we can see if there's a difference between those two. If we can see that over the wire, things are getting through as they should be, but on wireless we're seeing a performance decrease, then we know that there's something wrong in the wireless network and we need to go in there and make a change. And the last thing that we need to think about is the security. How are we securing this network? With the different types of data that we're now putting through our wireless networks, it's ever more important that we make sure that it's secure and safe for our users to use. And we need to think about how we're doing that, yes, in the office, but how are we doing that for remote workers too? Are they just using their own Wi-Fi? How do we know that that's secure? Again, we can put things in place to make sure that those things are working and are secure too. Thanks for watching this Networking Bytes video. If you want any more information, please get in touch.